Hello everyone and welcome to my Games of the Year 2023. This is a series that's technically been around longer than probably my channel, I think, because I used to write these on Divine Art. And it was essentially a way to sort of spread positivity, and while I'm not reading the script I wrote for this, about the script. This is a list of what's essentially the highlights of the year for me, from real life to games to content creators to TV and movies. And yeah, massive things happened this year, and I also got to experience some incredible things, and I'll go through them here. I also made this as I feel there's a lack of positivity nowadays, so I feel like it's sort of obligatory. So here we go. IRL. In this category, there's a few things happened. First thing is I moved house, and that was a big deal for me. Excuse the fan noise, because that's a heater I'm putting on my feet because I'm fucking freezing. I've moved from a stressful situation to a less stressful situation, and it's been a big deal and improved my massive health and mental health greatly, for better and for worse. And I got a diagnosis of my mental health issues involving OCD, panic disorder, social anxiety disorder, and dysthymia. And another big thing this year that sort of helped as well is I discovered alcohol. I don't really get why it was a thing that people did, but I really like it, and actually it tastes better than most soft drinks and probably healthier than them. That's the crazy thing. But my two favourite ciders that I've tried, because I'm a beer and cider guy, I like Thatcher's Blood Orange and Brothers Toffee Apple, I think they're called. And my favourite beer probably is Vocation Life and Death, but there's also this punk IPA I tried that I really liked, but I can't remember the name of it. It might have been called Equalizer. I think it had a pretty funky sort of looking packaging. It actually had an equalizer on it, so that says enough about it. And yeah, I've tried the standard beers and they're okay. I've tried Grober, Heineken, you name it. Of course, I enjoy vegan beers for obvious reasons. And speaking of vegan, I managed to cook a korma for the first time and I fucking loved it. It tasted exactly like it was from the Indian, but it was a family recipe that I managed to get. And it's the tastiest korma I've ever had. Surprising. It was unique as it had a bit of spice to it as well. Next big thing that happened to IRL was I got a girlfriend and had my first kiss ever. It was too short for us in the relationship. The kiss was long, it's like 2 minutes, fucking hell. I don't even know how it lasted that long because she had no idea how to kiss, and I don't know. She was a lovely girl. But that's it for IRL really, other than making a few friends, and the people I know now compliment me a lot, because for some reason I'm apparently a nice person. Not sure how they come to that reasoning, but okay. I'm not going to accuse drugs or drink or anything. The next category on to is games, which is surprising because I didn't really play many games this year. It's actually really weird because I try to play games, but I either get sidetracked or addicted, and then I can't do it. So, first game is Final Fantasy XIV Online. Yes, I finally gave it a good try and I liked it. It's not as good as other games, but it's probably better than a money sink or something like Genshin or TF2. The next game is Kena Bridge of Spirits. It's an indie game, and whilst it isn't the best game, it was a good game for the first playthrough, and it's a good non-completionist game, because if you're a completionist you might want to avoid it. I like the story, the graphics, the open worlds. Parts of the combat I didn't, but then for some reason were actually decent and clever. I like a lot of the puzzles too. But the world is probably one of the best ones I've seen artistically speaking. It's definitely worth a try if you have a system that can run it. The next game is Paradise Killer. I was really surprised by this one. It's a really interesting visual novel sort of game with a different choice of how you play, but that can change the outcome as it turns out. and you can also jump right to the end if you wanted to, but that isn't fun. The exploration pays off, and unfortunately it has one of the worst achievements in gaming history because it's like a speed run. But other than that, it's a really good game. It has lovable characters, interesting world, great graphics, art style, and even music. And plenty of exploration and quality of life that really serve to help the game out. It's amazing. You definitely need to try that. I strongly recommend it. And I should add that I strongly recommend it because it's like a murder mystery. So next game is another surprise. I was really happy I played this game because damn, there aren't many games like this anymore. It's sad. DMC Devil May Cry. Yes, the remake. This game is easily one of the most fun and satisfying gameplay and stories I've ever seen. Other than the final boss, it's a solid game. Even graphically speaking, it's pretty good. But it has aged a bit poorly in other ways, but still solid for one run. The next game I played is Destroy All Humans, the remake. I enjoyed this game quite a bit. It had a lot of things to improve on, but its core premise was genius. It has a really good story which hasn't aged well, to be honest, but is still hilarious. If you could take poorly aged humour anyway, and some poorly aged gameplay in some aspects. Graphically it seems good. I've never played the original, but it genuinely surprised me regardless. And the next game is a common one. Deep Rock Galactic. You might be surprised to hear that, but that's because the next few games are just updates. It consistently has good updates, with the most recent showing that the developers still care. We all know that the corruption season, whatever it's called, wasn't received well, and with good reasons. We got 2 seasons of it. Luckily we've got a patch so we can opt out of it, and there's now things to do in the game where we can level up our weapons and get skins, and it's still a labour of love. And probably the only true one on Steam right now. So again, I strongly recommend Deep Rock Galactic. And in a sort of another way, I got into TF2 again, Team Fortress 2. It got a good update with the summer update introducing Versus Accident Hell, which I have so many memories of back in the day when it's just a community map mod thing. And it's just as good with the official implementation, minus the voice work, which could be better. It's a welcome addition, but not the best, but the reason I bring Deep Fortress 2 up is because it's still a great game at its core, with or without the cosmetics and the thoughts. It's got plenty of weapons and classes, and it's still got a few community servers, and yet to actually find a good one though, to be honest. But I certainly want to see it do better, especially with the buying situation. Next game, our last one, is Genshin Impact, as usual. It astounds me. Fontaine was a blast, and so was the end of Sumeru. The end of Sumeru was actually much better than the previous few patches. But in Fontaine specifically, as of now, 4.3, it had so many good changes and enough to say where I can almost recommend the game to people. All it's missing is, for me to make it say it's a must play, is no more gacha and more quality of life. And in that regard, it needs more sort of quality of life about getting around the map quicker, and also less FOMO in general involving events. That's gaming. Next is music. This is an interesting category because I've heard so much good music this year and watched so much stuff that I've found music from, or even been in places where I've heard the music, for example. The one channel I can give a shout out to is Chainbrain, who introduced me to Parkway Drive, who is a band that is on this list. And he has a pretty good taste in music, to be honest. It's pretty good. I'm so glad I've heard it, and also seen Chainbrain's channel. So, Parkway Drive, first one. It had quite a lot of good first albums. It had quite a lot of good songs, I mean. And basically the way to describe Parkway Drive is it's a mix between the best of metal and punk. It's genius. From the album's early years in Killing with a Smile to Atlas, this band doesn't fail with its catchy hooks and heavy vocals. Fun fact, the album Deep Blue has a similar colour scheme to my custom Kiesel guitar. It's actually really hard to pick a favourite song from these guys because they're so good, but one of my sort of like, the riff I enjoy the most basically is Leviathan. I think that's probably my favourite riff from them, which is strange because it's like the least punk metal one there. It's more metal than anything. So the next band is Opeth. Has some really amazing first albums, really surprised me. From all good to Watershed at least, it was pretty damn good. It has a lot of great songs and it's metal quite unlike any other. With my two personal favourite songs being The Drapery Falls and Window Pane. Damnation is obviously one of the most unique albums you'll ever hear from them. Or just entirely actually, just to put that out there. The next band is actually a recent one, it's Killswitch Engage. To be honest, none of the albums are bad until Atonement 1, but it's very good still. It's probably the best metalcore band out there, simple and effective, it's catchy and there isn't really a bad album besides Atonement 1. But do not skip Atonement 2 because I think it's one of the best ones there. And I strongly recommend Killswitch Engage if you're a non-metalhead too, because you might just get into it. If anything, Killswitch Engage might have been one of the bands to get me into metal because of their appearance in Burnout Paradise. So thanks to them to the most extent, I guess. Like, it's hard to remember, I'm off script here. It's such a long time ago, but yeah, they probably helped me get into metal. So yeah, it's great to finally listen to them. And the next song to shout out is Megadeth. Not song, but album rather. So their latest album, The Sick, The Dying, The Dead, surprised me. I'm a big fan of Euthanasia, their album, and it's probably my favourite album by them because of how different it sounds and how well it worked. It wasn't thrash metal, but it had some pretty heavy songs in that, all things considered. The Sick, The Dying, The Dead is a return to their thrash metal roots, and it does it nearly perfectly. I really enjoyed this album, and after Dystopia I really wanted something to remind me of old school Megadeth, and well, here it is. It's not like I forgot the name, Rust in Peace, is it? The one with the blue alien Hangar 18, I don't know. There's nothing like that, but it's better than nothing pretty much. It's better than other stuff they've done. The next sort of band to praise is Judas Priest with their recent songs, Trial of Fire and Panic Attack. It's just Judas Priest at their best, and I'm already a fan of Judas Priest, so when these two came out I was like, holy shit. This is bringing me back to when I first listened to Painkiller. And these songs are just so awesome. And given that they've aged a bit as well, like, it's surprising to see them still making music like this. Yeah. The next sort of band to praise is Mastodon with their album Hushed and Cream. What a strange album, but what an album at that. It's an experiment really to show what sort of styles and genres of music they could put their style into. It's a creative way of not going old or even away from the style they're known for, or really a style that isn't broken, and they do it well. It's a unique and rare album for that matter. It reminds me of Hell Is On to an extent because they used to experiment like this. They implemented a different genre into songs or different tone, something like that. They still kept their sort of style in there. So I do recommend this album. It's pretty interesting. But on another note, in terms of music, I also found music that I'd almost long forgotten, and I'll name those now as best as I can. Caesar's Jacket Out, New Radicals Get What You Give, Shocking Blue Venus. I listened to Frank Sinatra, and he definitely has a lot of very familiar songs, I'll say that. Texas with Summer Sun, Whitney Houston's I'm Every Woman, Shadow Miles A Night to Remember, Ultra 83, who by the way is one of the most beautiful women I've ever seen physically in my life. Damn. Miki Matsubara Mara with Mayonaka No Door, Stay With Me. Jimmy World Bleed American, Ace of Base, All That She Wants. And these are songs from my childhood, some of them, but some have a few new discoveries with Miki and Jimmy there. But some interesting songs and a big variety of songs. Like, I don't like listening to one genre, it's better to listen to multiple because then it never gets old. Yeah. Then with myself personally, with making my own covers, I think I've made quite a few bangers this year. I think my style has really evolved. And to list all the metal covers I've made that I keep listening to, I'm wondering how the fuck. Sonic CD Back Your Workbench, Sonic Adventure Windy Valley Zone, Mega Man 9 plus Plugman Stadium, New Radicals Get What You Give, I covered that. The Our House Season 3 intro, Deep Rock Galactic, Attack of the Glyphids, Danganronpa V3, Climax Reasoning V3, Sonic Unleashed With More Oil, Revisited, Tekken 2, Nina Williams, Gorillaz Feel Good Inc., which by the way is my personal favourite ever because the last bit of the song is orgasmic. That's probably my peak. Then I covered Delta in the Cyber's World, Sonic Mania Tabloid Jargon, Strike You Sure Do, Deep Rock Galactic Access Out, Mega Man 2 Metal Man Stage, and finally Sonic Lost Worlds Dragon Dolls. And it's rare that I praise my own stuff with a lack of self-esteem, but I do think these are genuinely good and I can listen to them over and over again. Which is just weird, really. So the next big category is content creators. First up we got the Oscars. The Oscars have been one of my favourite content creators for years now, despite how momentum on this sort of affects my online interaction with them and the community. They're still nice people regardless, and with their variety content as well as real life videos, I'm always entertained. Taskbox and the recent The Cult are brilliant ideas. After watching Taskmaster, I really like the idea of Taskbox. I really enjoyed Jingle Jam this year as well, I forgot to put that. I'll write that down. Yeah, they're still great and obviously worth a watch. Like, they're not as sort of Minecraft styles from 10 years ago. God, that feels longer than that for some reason. They've definitely grown up, and so have we, the audience who've watched their Minecraft videos. It's brilliant. The next content creator is RT Game. Always entertaining game playthroughs and compilations. What I find unique about Dan's content is he sort of gets the game's story despite it being a compilation of the funniest, most noteworthy moments. I've always liked RT, and I remember when I watched that American Arcade game from his channel and managed to understand the story fully. It's such a great way to watch games as someone who is kind of scared to play games. I strongly recommend watching his channel. The next one to praise is Jamnik. This is the Team Fortress 2 content creator who shares some really interesting content relating to the mechanics of TF2 as well as general player base. Making some very informative and helpful videos showing insight into TF2. There isn't much else to say other than this is one of the few Team Fortress 2 channels worth watching. And next is Gamers Nexus. As usual, they keep up the great work and they make mostly unbiased content and reporting. They report on the industry news and reviewing brand new products in the whole wide realm. The whole industry can be a real shitstorm sometimes, but Gamers Nexus is here to make it better and more clear. They're far better than line detectives who are known to be a no longer trustworthy, as per staff accounts and the clickbaity videos, which I've known for a long time anyway. I knew that was a red flag. Yeah. The next one to point out is Digital Foundry. These guys provide some amazing gaming related videos, how games run and work, sometimes hardware, but they tend to be the most informative in terms of game performance as well as graphics within gaming. And next is Kitburger. Kitburger is a scam beta with tons of experience. It wasn't until recently that I began watching his videos, because I used to watch the live streams a lot, which had its moments, but the YouTube videos feel so much better, more informative and more funny somehow. Either way, I've always loved Kitburger's content. It's unique too. This is also a channel that most audiences would find friendly and entertaining. Kit also had the chance to meet some pretty famous and influential people and do scam baiting with them. Specifically, I remember toasting the Bossy, Herman Lee and Misha. Pretty much the best guitarist out there. He's done a collab with, which is incredible, and well deserved for all the hard work he does, and all the hard work his team put into preventing scams as well as being scammers into wasting their time. Maybe I mistyped that. Said being scam betas, that's not good. Next channel to highlight is Unique Productions. This channel is unique. I love my metal music, but I didn't expect I'd love to hear like other band styles played over other non-metal band songs, and does it perfectly. He does every single instrument, vocals, guitar, bass, drums. He can do it stupidly well. He has a real talent for this, so much so it's worth sharing here. Next channel is Special Books by Special Kids. This channel was discovered last year and it's still going strong this year. I always want to shine a light on disability and mental health. It's something not many people bother to do, but this channel has done it. It makes you realise that all these problems that surround us nowadays are often because of a societal view of disability. The channel happens to be a way for some people to show that they exist and they're still people regardless. They must be treated like people, because that for some reason is easily forgotten nowadays. On top of that, I just like to expand my knowledge and understanding in these areas so that I know how to prepare myself mentally were I to meet these kinds of people who appeared on the channel, in a positive way of course. And the final channel is Those Happy Days. This is a van life channel originally, but recently and earlier in the year they visited India, and it was fucking amazing. India vlogs have to be some of the best videos I've seen on YouTube period, from the editing of the events that took place while they were in India, to actually being in India. I misread that there. But it's just incredible. Despite the bad luck that the image and Lee are having during these videos, they end up with some of the most incredible positive and uplifting moments. What's happened to Morgan and Removal's van is absolutely heartbreaking. I know I enjoy the India vlogs currently. I hope to see content related to the UK again someday, as I did enjoy their UK travel vlogs. They were pretty good. I didn't even know most of these places in the UK existed, but yeah. The next category is TV shows and movies. There have been a lot of good TV shows this year and some that I recently watched. Mike's Family Part 2 happened this year apparently, and I thoroughly enjoyed it once again. King of the Hill, I watched the entirety of this over 3 months since December, and really it's one of the best animated shows out there, at least for the first 5 or 6 seasons. It's realistic, funny and informative. I was on the fence about it given the characters are all conservatives, but it's really quite politically neutral despite that. And it has the best LGBTQ+ representation I'd seen up to that point. Cyberpunk Edge Runners is one I finally got around to watching, and holy crap, I would have taken this over Cyberpunk 2077. 2077, I mean 2027 what? I would have taken that over that any day. It had action, it had heartfelt moments, it had a really heavy story on top of that, on top of some good animation. I remember it leaving me on the edge of my seat, so I do recommend it. The Dead End Paranormal, best LGBTQ plus representation in media so far, as of 2023 December. It's not the most impressive animated show I've seen, but sure hits the sweet spots in aspects of the story and the representation, as I previously mentioned. Last of Us. This show really surprised me because no one liked the Last of Us game from watching it. I think the show did it better. It gave the characters a reason to be likeable and made the trolley problem a really big deal. But like, you just have to watch the show to see what I mean by it being so good. And I've only watched anime this year, besides Spike's Family. Watched Bleach. And I can safely say it's better than Death Note and probably even Hunter x Hunter. It's well animated, but more importantly it's got great characters and a greater story. It isn't like a must watch, especially with how many episodes it's got, and it's a manga adaptation, but I genuinely think the story is epic. And I was crying near the end because it's just such a well crafted story. I can almost guarantee that there is a character you'll like, because it's so diverse. It's rare to see an anime this good. Back to normal TV shows. I watched The In-Betweeners for the first time, and I was genuinely surprised by it. It's offensive, it's unique, it's realistic, it's funny, it's certainly worth a watch. I really enjoyed it. And also the acting was pretty damn good. A Taskmaster. What I thought was dumb turned out to be dumb fun. I assumed this show was just serious toss to see who could be the best nanny. Yes, that was literally my assumption. Turns out it's not. It's funny, it's stupid, it's got a bit of everything, and something everyone will enjoy. Let me turn off notifications because I forgot about that. Now for movies, in the same category, but this was hard because I'm not really a movie person. Other than in between the movies, here are some other highlights. Everything Everywhere All at Once. This was a really good film. It had a good story, great characters, great directing, it's got a bit of everything, hence the name. And it's clever too. I love clever stories, and this is probably a must watch. It's pretty much a comedy throughout the whole thing. Next movie I watched was Super Mario Bros. Movie. The new one, yes. This was surprising. I'm so glad I watched it. Its characters are not very memorable, even noteworthy, but in terms of how they wrote them, I meant as in terms of how they wrote them, it's just well paced and well directed, well designed, gorgeous CGI and adaptations of the game world. The story isn't special, but the amounts of references to the games in the movie is pretty damn good. I was surprised really. Not a must watch, but it's noteworthy if you're a fan of Mario games. I even played them for that matter. Elemental. A surprising one for me. I quite like this movie. It was different. Unfortunately it followed some cliches in its storytelling, but it is definitely a story that feels progressive, and you'll know what I mean if you've watched it. It's nice to sit through, and for once it's not really about a bad guy, it's unique in that sense too. It's a story about coming to tolerate other races as well as their disadvantages, which is a unique aspect of the story. The next movie is Barbie Movie. Very surprising, this one. I wasn't sure going into it because the trailer didn't do it any justice, as it just highlighted some of the unfunniest moments. But the story was actually really good and really funny. And the humour itself was just brilliant. It's worth a watch for sure, but it's surprisingly good. It's almost a must watch, but really it's a movie made for a laugh and it doesn't take itself very seriously, and that's why it's so good. Next movie is Bruno. Yes, this came out a while ago, but this is genuinely good. If you're a fan of Borat, you'll most definitely enjoy this. It's more offensive, more funny, and more crazy. This is actually a must-watch, especially for the ending. The final movie is Die Hard 1. I watched it for the first time and loved every second. I was on the edge of my seat. It had its funny moments and heavy moments, and whilst it's debatable as to whether it's a Christmas movie or not, it's still one of the best damn action movies I've seen, and I wish I gave it a chance years ago when I was too impatient for it, and stalled about 10 minutes in. And I got a shout out on something else, which is different, but all unrelated, right? Valve, the gaming company, took some advice. I've written a bunch of reviews for games this year via Steam. I was inspired by a comment last year that I made on r/gaming for Sonic Frontiers. Someone said I made great reviews, and so I decided to make them on Steam as well. And well, some of them got a not so welcome reception. I left comments enabled because I wanted to hear what people thought. The problem is, people don't want to hear about how inaccessible their favourite games were. So what ended up happening was a group of players ended up giving me jest awards that would appear on my profile, which is an attempt to not only sabotage my reviews but my reputation as a Steam user as well. And I've been a Steam user since 2010, it's worth saying. So I messaged Valve saying, hey, I'm experiencing a lot of harassment and griefing through the community award system. Is there a chance that it could be removed from my profile? Then out of the blue, just didn't know about it until a few weeks ago actually. At some point during this winter that option became a thing, and I was like, wow, thank you so much. I could finally hide the badges from my profile. I don't think it will affect my reviews in a sense, but it leaves me a little more at peace knowing that some edgy teenagers are not going to bombard me with harassment due to my disabilities, which I bring up in my reviews because how am I supposed to play a game with autism that makes it hard to play games? Learning disabilities for that matter as well. So thank you Valve for looking out for us. Then that concludes the things of the year 2023. Hopefully it's enjoyable, you've found something you're interested in. A lot of these things mean a lot to me without it, and without it, I probably wouldn't be able to live that long, to be honest, because my depression would have killed me. So yeah, hopefully 2024 brings more surprises. I have to wait and see. But yeah, it's been kind of lost, and a big thank you to everyone that appeared on the list even. Because it would have been difficult this year had it not been for these things. I had to move house and stuff and meet new people and deal with my mental health, and that's been a big deal. Like I'm treating my mental health at the moment with ometazapine. Don't know if it's working, but I'll see. Anyway, thanks for watching, and hopefully you found something you might be interested in here. That's why I make these, it's because it's a positive thing. And yeah, see you next year probably, depending on when I release this.